from the Don and Lorena Meyer studio at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln College of Journalism and Mass Communications. This is Nebraska Nightly.
Good afternoon and welcome to Nebraska Nightly. I'm Griffin Ward.
And I'm Josh Dozler. It's election day around the country and key races are on in multiple states. Plus, the government shutdown continues to drag on.
But first, big news from Nebraska football. Following an emotional defeat on Saturday, the Huskers also took a loss in their quarterback room. Nebraska Nightly's Bridger Cruz joins us in the studio with more on sophomore Dylan Raiola. Bridger?
Yeah, guys, it's bad news in Lincoln right now as sophomore quarterback Dylan Raiola has been confirmed to be out for the season. It's a broken fibula for him. He suffered it against USC, not looking good for him, but he stayed on the field that entire game to help rally his team and try to be that leader that he was throughout the first part of the season. TJ Lateef, the freshman quarterback, the true freshman, will be taking over at quarterback. He'll be starting against UCLA as they head to the Rose Bowl this week. And for Dylan Raiola, he ends with 2,000 passing yards and 18 passing touchdowns on the season. And now this team going to have to rely on the arm of true freshman TJ Lateef. For more on the Nebraska football team, we will be back for sports.
Richard Dick Cheney, the 46th Vice President of the United States, passed away this morning. His family says he died from complications of pneumonia, cardiac, and vascular disease.
Cheney, the right-hand man of President George H.W. Bush during the 9/11 attacks and considered by some to be the architect of the Iraq invasion, was 84 years old.
Cheney was born here in Lincoln before moving to Casper, Wyoming. The future vice president graduated from the University of Wyoming before eventually becoming President Ford's White House Chief of Staff in 1975 at age 34, the youngest to ever serve in that position.
Cheney represented Wyoming in the House of Representatives for a decade beginning in 1979, before being appointed to Secretary of Defense in 1989 by his future running mate's father, George W. Bush.
Cheney survived 5 heart attacks in his lifetime and also an assassination attempt in 2007 by a suicide bomber in Afghanistan.
As a private citizen, Cheney was the CEO for Halliburton for 5 years before becoming vice president.
Late in life, Cheney's conservative viewpoints slowly turned around. Cheney criticized President Trump in 2022, calling him the biggest threat to the country since its inception. He also publicly and privately supported his daughter Mary, who came out as gay before gay marriage was widely supported. Cheney, a lifelong Republican, also announced he would vote for Democrat Kamala Harris in 2024.
Despite the ideological divorce from the Republican Party, House Speaker Mike Johnson said that this morning that Cheney's service to the country still deserves honor.
I, admired what he had done in Republican politics to that point, and I meant what I said when I came up here and began this morning, that even when we have political differences with somebody later in life, you have to honor the sacrifices and the service they gave to their country, and we certainly do that for the former vice president, and our prayers go out to the whole family.
No funeral plans have been announced for the former vice president.
As winter approaches, warm weather is staying. We send it over to Mitchell Brandt for more.
What does this week look like for us, Mitchell?
Hey guys, to be honest, it's going to be a very up and down week. Right now it's 72 degrees. Today was absolutely beautiful. It doesn't get better than this for this time of year. 20 degrees above average. Normally we're sitting in the low 50s. Today, 71. It felt like a wonderful summer evening, except we got the joys of that during the fall. So tonight we're looking at, again, more beautiful temps. Tonight going to be about 43 degrees. It will be a little windy. Again, just like today, a little bit less wind. But it will still have a little bit of wind to it. 43 degrees. It'll really feel about 38 degrees if you're walking out around tonight. Again, just with that 13 miles an hour wind. But again, beautiful weather tonight. Again, tomorrow, much of the same. It's going to be a little windy, but again, still wonderful temps. 60 degrees and sunny. Doesn't get much better than that for this time of the year. Again, tomorrow going to be about 10 degrees above average for what we're seeing in early November. Look at the statewide highs, shattering all the way up in 79. The big one I want to draw your attention to, North Platte, got all the way up into the 80s today. That's about 30 degrees above our average for the state for early November. We're looking at mid-50s. North Platte got there to the low 80s. And then we continue to look, Ord, 76, Norfolk, 71. Again, just beautiful weather all across the state today. And again, we're not going to see much of a changes. We're looking at a little bit of rain on Saturday, and that's about it to stay dry. And we look at some winter weather prep, because next thing I'm going to show you, we're going to get a couple freezing temps. One thing you need to do, drain hoses, sprinkler lines, check your alarms, and make sure you have enough emergency supplies so you're not caught by surprise in another month when we start to get some big snowstorms. But as we start to look at this 7-day forecast, we're looking just some great weather. 60 tomorrow, 67 Thursday. We're dropping down a little bit when it comes down to Sunday and Saturday, really. We're going to look at some freezing temps, but that's really about it. Nothing too crazy, all things considered. And again, one thing, we're looking at Wednesday and Thursdays are next to like nice days. Going to be 67 on Thursday. We're looking at some just beautiful weather, but this weekend we're going to get a little bit chilly.
Yeah, I can't wait to keep my windows open this week. It's a beautiful week for it.
It absolutely, it doesn't get better.
Although there is no statewide elections in Nebraska today, there are quite a few critical races at the polls today in states like New York, New Jersey, Virginia, and California. In New York City, Democratic primary winner Zohran Mamdani is facing off against former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, who is running as an independent, and Republican Curtis Sliwa for mayor, and Virginia Republican Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears takes on Democrat Abigail Spanberger, both looking to replace current Republican Governor Glenn Youngson, who has met his term limits. Finally, in California, citizens are voting on whether or not to adopt a state constitutional amendment that would override the state's independent redistricting commission in favor of a legislative drawn district map that would help Democrats gain up to 5 seats in that state. This comes in response to redistricting in other states that seems to favor Republicans. House Democrats are confident in this election cycle, with Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries saying Republicans will lose.
It's not a question of if Republicans are going to lose. I was in Virginia earlier today. I was in New Jersey over the weekend. I was in California a few weeks ago. They are going to lose because the American people know that Republican policies have failed them. And it starts with the economy.
Meanwhile, today marks the day 35 of the federal government shutdown. That ties the record for longest ever shutdown in United States history. The Senate is about to fail its 14th vote on the GOP's stopgap plan to reopen the government, and neither side expects substantial progress on this election day. With key races from New Jersey and New York to California, the impasse for both parties is healthcare funding. Some say Democrats are considering whether to accept a standalone vote to extend Affordable Care Act subsidies that are expiring, but there's no guarantee it would pass the Senate, so talks continue.
Earlier today, Mayor Leron Gaylor Baird held a press conference at the Food Bank of Lincoln to announce local efforts to help those affected by the recent pause in SNAP benefits. Joining the mayor was Lancaster County Commissioner Sean Flowerday and Food Bank of Lincoln COO Tiffany Murray. Flowerday announced the Lancaster County Board is dedicating $250,000 in emergency funds to go to families left without benefits. The County Health Department also launched a new interactive food resource map and those who are unsure of where to go. Baird estimate that 26,000 Lancaster County residents would be affected by the pause and urged those able to contribute any way they can.
Clear. If you are able, please consider making a financial contribution to the Food Bank of Lincoln. For every dollar you donate, the food bank helps provide about 2 meals for neighbors facing hunger.
To view the interactive food resource map, visit lincoln.ne.gov/health. Or if you'd like to donate, visit lincolnfoodbank.org/donate.
The current budget cuts affecting UNL has brought up the discussion of the possible merging of journalism and broadcasting programs. These majors are currently in the 2 smallest within the co-JMC. Nebraska Nightly sat down with the dean of the college, Sherry Vale, to discuss the main reason for the proposal.
In looking at those numbers, we're also looking at the number of students in those programs. So journalism is our smallest program in the college with about 120 students. Broadcasting is our second smallest with about 150 students if you're only looking at individual majors. For us, the challenge is that broadcasting is the most popular secondary major in our college and across all of our different majors. So that impacts a number of students, so over 200 and some students. But when we're looking at that as a comparison, even within our own college where you have sports media and advertising PR that are both at about 400 students, it's tough to make up that difference.
Regardless of the possible merging of programs, students and staff have been assured the broadcasting program will continue. The journalism sequence will work with the broadcasters on more ways to be more efficient. In other news related to the budget cuts, the Academic Planning Committee voted against the current budget proposal yesterday. This is due to concerns regarding the metrics used to form the proposal and the $75 million that have already been cut over the last 6 years. The vote that really matters will be the Board of Regents next month.
UNL has officially launched their new chatbot, Cornelius. Students received texts on Monday from Cornelius announcing he is active. AI is used by many students, and Cornelius is a new tool available. Sophomore Gavin Hoffman uses AI to help him study.
I do use AI. Most time I use it when I study, like generating practice problems or helping with like understanding like complex problems, just to better understand.
As a tool, students can text to get any questions concerning UNL answered Cornelius. Cornelius can help students find resources for academic and financial help, or even direct students to mental health services. Senior Anthony Gonzalez sees how Cornelius could help students like himself.
I use it when I study.
You know what I mean? Stuff like related to school, and I don't really know where to go. You know what I mean? Yeah. And maybe it's not going to give me an answer, but it can get me in a direction where I know where I need to go to. You know what I mean?
Sophomore Ella Cave could see herself using Cornelius as a resource.
I use a chatbot. I mean, Cornelius sounds pretty cool, so.
Students who text Cornelius this week will be entered to win prizes. Up next, sports reporter Bridget Cruz takes us through the Huskers home opener in men's and women's basketball.
And a look ahead as football heads to the West Coast to take on UCLA after the break.
On average, every Big Ten student wastes 112 pounds of garbage each year, but there's a fix. Make sure you use an Aussie when you dine in and be a part of the change.
It's a daily part of many college students' lives, something we've become used to, but it can also be overwhelming and draining. Studies show that taking regular breaks from social media reduces stress and improves mental health. Too much screen time has been proven to increase anxiety, while stepping away helps you reconnect with the world around you. Take a break. Protect your mental health.
Bridger Cruz. Nebraska football took questions from the media today. Offensive coordinator Dana Holgerson and wide receiver Ja'Cory Barney talked about their confidence in TJ Lateef leading this offense.
TJ was ready to go. He's a student of the game. Enjoy coaching him. It's going to obviously mean more now, when you know you're that guy.
Just so far, just a change in his focus. You know what I'm saying? Today he was, he's always dialed in, but it's like a switch. Like, hey, I got to run the show now, so I can see. I seen it today, and we're pretty confident in him this week.
As the football season continues to wind down, basketball is just getting started. Yesterday, collegiate basketball officially commenced across the United States, and the Nebraska men's basketball team opened up their season last night at home against the West Georgia Wolves. Now, the Cornhuskers last night, they got off to a quick start with Jamarcus Lawrence. He kept the vibes high with this triple, and Nebraska leads 30-26. Later on, it was Husker vet Sam Hoiberg finding an open Connor Essegian. The Huskers pushed the lead to 22. Essegian ended with 12 points on the night, and then it was Buktingel. He elevates for the rim-rocking slam, and Nebraska cruises to an opening night victory, 86-53.
It was so uptight, you know, and you have a bit of that, and it's good.
So, Bridger, what do you take from the basketball game? You know, close first half there, but we pulled away in the second.
You know, I think it's going to be an interesting season looking at some of the transfers in college basketball and the landscape of it. I think this could be a great year for the Huskers, but they've got to capitalize on these wins early, and they can have head-scratching losses if they want to get to the tournament.
So far, it's looking so good.
Halloween is over, and with Thanksgiving and Christmas right around the corner, Coca-Cola is rolling out a special treat for the holidays. It's called Coca-Cola Holiday Creamy Vanilla. It's the first limited edition holiday flavor for Coca-Cola in 5 years.
The Atlanta-based beverage company says the drink is infused with, quote, smooth, creamy vanilla flavors that capture the joy of the season. The limited time drink is available in full and zero sugar versions. It's available at stores nationwide and online at coca-cola.com.
The weather has been a bit warm for November.
Let's toss it to Mitchell for our game day forecast in Los Angeles this week.
As we take a look, Pasadena, it's going to be pretty nice outside. I should say it's nice for Nebraska standards. It's a little chilly for how California works, but all things considered, this is beautiful football weather. I will take 70 and sunny at any given day just because of how beautiful it is. But I mean, take a look. It's hardly any wind all throughout the game. It's going to be a pretty easy forecast as far as a football weather should go.
Yeah, this is definitely not the November football that Nebraska is used to. That's for sure.
No, not at all. It is beautiful.
Man, honestly, I'm wishing I'm there right now.
Beats the 40 degrees we'll have here this weekend.
Man, I tell you what, 40 degrees, though, that is true football weather. But coming into UCLA, it's going to be a nice treat for the fans who go from 40 to 80 and enjoy some of that beautiful California weather and scenery.
Doesn't get better than that.
Thanks for tuning in to Nebraska Nightly.
Be sure to follow us on social media at Nebraska Nightly.
Our next live show is on Friday, November 7th at 4:30 p.m.
Have a great night. Nebraska Nightly is a production of the University of Nebraska's College of Journalism and Mass Communications.